Hi everyone, my name is Stanley Fernandez and I work at SD Innovation as a software engineer. Today, I will introduce you all to Drupal. Drupal is a CMS. So before we get to Drupal, I would like to explain you all what a CMS means. A CMS, Content Management System, is a software tool that allows users to add, publish, edit, or remove content from a website. It makes non-technical users to publish text and images very easily on the website. Also, if you have a blog with content, the same content can be displayed on the home page without needing to write uh, the same content twice. I guess everyone understood what a CMS means. Now, we'll see what is Drupal. Drupal is an open source content management system which is built using PHP uh, program language and is designed to create a website for variety of different web servers. Drupal is a very flexible CMS based on LAMP stack. Drupal allows features to be added by installing modules and changing the entire look of the website by installing different themes. As I have told you in the previous slide, that Drupal is an open source. So let us understand what does it mean to be open source. Open source means the core code is open to view. That means the software can be developed by contributors. Since everything is open, we can extend the core code to do more and behave on the needs of the project, what we work on. Open source communities provide contributed modules and timely code updates also. Drupal versions. Now I will explain you all some of the recent Drupal versions and what are the features and how they are different from each other. So Drupal 7 was first released in 2011 and it will reach the end of life in 2021. So what does it mean to reach the end of life? When your version reaches the end of the life, that doesn't mean that your website will stop working immediately. However, that will mean that you will be running a version that is no longer supported. Uh, and there won't be any security updates provided for Drupal 7 core by the security team. And without the security updates, the website can be vulnerable to new exploits. So that is what it means to reach the end of life. So then Drupal 8 was released. Drupal 8's core project adopted several third-party libraries into its source code, including the Symfony framework. And even Drupal 8 will reach the end of the life in November 21 as Symfony end of life is in November 21. So let me explain to you the benefits that Drupal 8 gave with the third-party libraries and Symfony. So it saved time that would otherwise be spent in solving problems and writing and maintaining code when that was already been done by another community of developers. We from which we will use the libraries. Also, the Symfony tools provide most of the common and recurring tasks that you perform on every project, like basic this task. And the third thing will be that it encourages us to learn common patterns and principles that apply beyond Drupal. Yeah. So that's clear. Now let us understand what is Symfony. Symfony is a reusable set of standalone Perl and Coency PHP components that solve very common web development problems. So, Symfony can be also be defined as MVC framework, as it allows us to separate the components. So let us understand the feature that differentiate Drupal 8 from Drupal 7. So the first one was the new theme engine. So in Drupal 8, there was a new theme engine called the Twig, and Twig is PHP-based theme engine which allows users to write templates using a very simple syntax. Uh, the next was the text editor. So Drupal 8 came up with a text editor called the CK text editor. So earlier there were not many functions for the editors as much as the desktop-based software application like MS Word has. So these were put up inside this CK editor for the to avail the common word processor features while creating the or editing any of the web pages. Then the next was the field tabs. In Drupal 8, there are it supports several new field tabs. Example: email, telephone, date, references. So what this field types does, it makes easier to add new fields without defining the field types additionally. Also, the users even have the option like to add the fields to comments, contact form, notes, and so on by defining the field name and the field type. That's it. The next thing was the quick edit module. So in Drupal 7, it was a lacking thing to edit content directly from the front end. But in Drupal 8, they have come up with a new module called the Quick Edit, which allows the users to make changes to content directly from the front end when he is viewing it. The next point was the responsive images. So in Drupal 7, images developers used to image styles to resize images according to screens of individual devices and using the image styles. But in Drupal 8, you can choose from a variety of image types for each image. And also they have provided us with various styles for these devices with varying screen sizes. The next point is the core multilingual modules. So in Drupal 8, we used to need multiple modules like to while developing multilingual website. But in Drupal 8, they have added four main modules in the core. So the developer can use these modules like language, content transition, configuration transition, and interface transition. So these modules makes it easy to configure language and to apply content as well as to translate the website. Next one is views. So in actually in Drupal 7, views was totally as a different module only. But in Drupal 8, they have added those components to the core itself. So we can access view directly from the administrative side. So it becomes easier for us to access and customize views without going to putting in extra efforts and time like searching for the views. And the next point is built-in web services. So in Drupal 7, we used to use a number of contributory modules like to create the web services. But in Drupal 8, they have included again 4 new modules to the core HAL, HTTP basic authentication, RESTful web services, and serialization. The developers can access the core module directly from the views for this. Then next is the built-in configuration management. So Drupal it comes with this. So it becomes like easier for the developers to move fields, views, contents, and similar configuration from local development environment to the web server. They even have the option like to store the configuration data in files and track the configuration through a version control. So I guess we understood some of the features that differentiate Drupal 8 from Drupal 7. So now currently a new version of Drupal was released in 2020, which was Drupal 9. As you can see in the diagram, like Drupal 7 was the end, meaning like once done, you have to migrate like to Drupal 8, like if you wanted to move on. But in Drupal 9, it is not the case like you need to totally migrate from 8 to 9. But it is Drupal 9 is like a cleaned up version of Drupal 8. So it is like same as Drupal 8, but like they have removed the deprecated code from Drupal 8 and all the dependencies are updated, and most of the extensions will require only few changes like yeah. So I guess like we understood like what is a Drupal today, what a CMS means, and how the Drupal versions have evolved from like latest Drupal versions have evolved and how they are differentiated. So yeah, that's it for for the introduction part. In the next part, I will be explaining you all how to install the Drupal setup. Thank you.